and I'm going to start with our group project, which is on Nandalal's Nursery. And here are the names of our group members: Rubal Agarwal, Prabjot Kaur, Rupasvi Bali, which is me, Dikshita Mittal, Vandana, and Harpreet Singh. So hand over to Rubal.
Hello everyone. Today I'll be explaining the executive summary of this business report, that is Nandlal's Nursery. Basically, this report analyzes the current business operation of Nandlal Nursery and identifies the areas of improvement that is to remain profitable in the current market. Also, this report includes four types of analysis, that is financial performance, production process, product mix, and market trend analysis. The financial performance analysis reveals a decline in the net income due to increased operating expenses and manufacturing overheads. The production process involves around the growing trees and shrubs on a 1 acre land. Also, this report recommends diversifying the product mix due to reduce dependence on trees and take advantage of high demand for fresh cut Douglas trees during Christmas. Next slide, please. The overview of this report explain about six parts of this Nandla Nursery project. First one is introduction, second is current business operation, third is the nursery cost analysis, fourth is break even analysis, and the fifth part is product mix, and sixth is staffing levels. Next slide. If we talk about the introduction part of this report, it is basically Nandlal Nursery is a family-owned and operated business serving in the local community for several years. In this, the nursery is located in a 10-acre property in the Fraser Valley of British Columbia, Canada. Nandlal Nursery has historically focused on growing trees and shrubs native to the Pacific Northwest, such as Douglas. It provides high quality plants at competitive prices with local commercial clients. However, this business is facing several challenges and opportunities which will be addressed in this report. Hand over to my teammate Dikshita Mittal.
Hello everyone, my name is Dikshita, and now I would like to continue with the next part of the presentation, that is analysis of the current business operation. As we know that Nandal Nursery is a well-working business from decades and is well known for the selling of good quality of plants and trees to the commercial clients. But due to some changes in the current environment, the business need to cope with the new realities to remain competitive and profitable in the market. For this, the business need to be more active on the three different areas, that is financial performance analysis, production process analysis, and market trend analysis. Next slide, please. First of all, I would like to talk about the financial performance analysis. As it's shown here, the performance of the Nandlal Nursery by the end of year 2022 was not appropriate, as it was lacking between the actual budget and the estimated budget. Actual budget was the 1,85,000, but the estimated one was the 2,07,000. This shows the declining net income during the particular year. Here is the table which shows the total revenue generated from the selling of the trees and shrubs. It generated 67% revenue from trees and 33% revenue from the shrubs. Next is the production process. For this, they splitted the trees and shrubs on 1 acre land, and they split the planting in that way so that they are able to produce 700 plants per year per acre. As we know that trees take 4 years for the growth, while the shrubs takes 1.25 years, so they plant accordingly according to that. Next slide, please. Lastly, the market trend analysis. The market trend reveals about the market demand. So by the as Nandla knows that the Christmas is approaching, and the demand for the fresh cut Douglas fir trees was on the high was very high. They think that they need to be cope with that demand, and they started production of the Douglas fresh cut trees, but they started growing trees for the next year in advance so that they can sell that at premium of $80. Here are the two tables. First one shows about the sales performance for the year ended 31st March, and next one is the top 5 best selling products. As we talk about the sales performance, The sale of shrubs was less as per the budgeted sales, but the trees were more as per the budgeted sales. So it generated total 12 lakh 10,000 actual sales. And the top selling item was the red maple trees. Now I would like to hand over to Harpreet.
Hello everyone, myself Harpreet Singh, and today I am going to explain my part cost analysis of Nandalal Nursery. So the analysis will explain the changes between the budgeted and the actual expenses. Like as we see, the table shows that the real cost of goods sold was 10,000 more than the planned cost of goods sold, and the cost was for direct labor was 21,000 less than the expected, and showing fluctuation in the direct labor cost. On the other side, the actual cost was 31,500 higher than the expected, the difference in the manufacturing overhead expenses. So it is very crucial for the Nanla nursery to evaluate the reasons or to find out the reasons and implement the necessary remedies for their solutions. Next slide, please. On the other side, the operating expenses. Basically, the expenses are not directly associated with the production of the goods, but are necessary for the smooth running of business. And as we see, the table shows that actual operating expenses exceeded the budgeted operating expenses by the 22,000 for the year December 31, 2022. And the differences in the transportation cost is very important, with the actual cost being 15,000 higher than the budgeted. Also, the bookkeeping cost variance is very important, with the actual cost being 6,000 lower than the budgeted. The nursery should investigate the causes of these variances and should take corrective measures to reduce their problems and their solutions and their expenses. Next slide, please. So for the Nandlal nursery, I have some recommendations to for their business for their smooth running. First of all, they have to analyze their overhead manufacturing cost variance and identify the cause and take corrective measures. After it, they have to investigate the cause of transportation cost variance and take necessary steps on it. Periodically review costs to ensure that they align with the budgeted amounts and adjust it as necessary for the nursery. Also, the nursery can negotiate better deals with the supplier for the direct material to reduce the cost of goods sold. So they can consider the using alternate suppliers who offer lower prices and satisfy the market. And the Nandla nursery can also implement cost control measures such as reducing energy consumption, optimizing the use of resources to reduce the cost of utilities and transportation. And then a nursery can improve the productivity by streamlining its manufacturing process by reducing waste and optimizing its labor forces. Now my teammate Prabjot Kaur will explain the next part.
Thanks, Harpreet. Now, hello everyone. I'm going to explain the break-even analysis of Nandlal's nursery. Break-even is an essential tool for business to determine the level of sales that is needed to cover all their costs. And I think we all know that the break-even point is the level of sales where total revenue equals total cost. That means the business neither makes a profit nor a loss. And the break-even point is calculated by dividing the total fixed cost by the contribution margin. And we all know that contribution margin is the selling price minus variable cost. And by knowing the break even point, the business can determine the minimum level of sales that are needed to cover all its costs, whether they are fixed or variable costs, and make a profit. Now here I'm going to discuss the fixed cost for nursery that includes the rent, property taxes, insurance, and permanent staff salaries, while the variable cost includes seedlings, fertilizers, potting soil, water, and labor for seasonal workers. And on the right hand side of this slide, I have provided the break-even chart, and we can all see that break-even point is a point when there is no loss and no profit. Next slide, please. And based on the financial statement, the break-even point for the nursery for the year ending December 31st, 2022 is 40,000 units. And as I have also already discussed about the formula to calculate the break-even point, and it means that the nursery needs to sell 40,000 units, that is to cover its cost and make neither a profit nor a loss. And on the right hand side, I have provided a table that shows how to calculate the break-even point. Next slide, please. However, in the previous slide, we have seen that the nursery only sold 35,000 units. So it means that it does not reach the break-even point, where break-even point sales shows that it must save the units up to 40,000, and it only sold up to 30,000, which is 5,000 less than the break-even point. So here are the following recommendations to improve the break-even point for the Nandalal nursery. To commence with the first recommendations, they can increase their sale by expanding their product line, reach new markets, and improve marketing strategies to attract more customers. Next one is they can reduce their variable cost by negotiating better prices for suppliers, reducing labor cost, and exploring alternative suppliers to reduce the variable cost. Control fixed cost by optimizing the use of its resources, reducing waste, and renegotiating with suppliers and service providers. Last but not the least, they can improve their efficiency by implementing better inventory management practices and reducing lead times that will help the Nandalal nursery to improve their break-even points. Hand over to Rupasvi Wali.
Thanks, Prabjot. So I'm going to start with the product mix analysis. So to ensure if a business is profitable, it is very important to analyze in which products is the business dealing. So Nandalal Nursery is offering a wide variety of products, which includes annuals, perennials, shrubs, trees, and gardening supplies. So our product mix analysis will focus on the contribution margin and sales volume of each product to determine its profitability individually. So here is a table. In this table, it is very clear that annuals have the most sales volume. It means the nursery should continue its production, whereas supplies has the least sales volume. So on the basis of contribution margin, it shows how profitable a business is, which is calculated by subtracting the variable cost from the selling price. In this case, shrubs and trees have the most contribution margin, which means they are a profitable products and nursery should continue its production, whereas supplies have the least contribution margin, which means supplies are not profitable as at all, and also they have a low sales volume. So in the next slide, we can give some recommendations to the Nandalal's nursery, which we so the first one is that the nursery should promote those products which have a high contribution margin. This will increase the profitability and also increase efficiency in the business, and those products which have a low contribution margin, because it will affect. And the nursery should focus on innovation and introducing new products, because some products have enhanced demand for the new ones, because innovations are always welcome. So other than this, the nursery can even improve its marketing strategies by they can use the social media platforms such as Instagram, Facebook to promote their products and increase the sales volume. They can even work on their inventory management, and so that they can handle waste management, because waste management is very crucial to know the quantity of raw materials required and everything. So it is very important to do inventory management as well. So here is all about the product mix analysis of Nandalal's nursery. So handing over to Vandana.
Thanks, Rupasvi. So, hi everyone. I'm here to discuss about the staffing analysis. As we all know, staffing is a crucial aspect of any business, and having a right number of staff can significantly impact productivity and profitability. This section of the report will analyze the nursery's current staffing level and provide recommendations on hiring, editing staff, reducing staff, or keeping staffing levels the same. So to determine staff productivity and efficiency, the following key performance indicators of Nandalal's nursery can be analyzed. First is the sales per employee, which is $80,000. Sales employees in this measures the revenue generated by each staff member. It can help identify top performing employees and areas for improvement. And second is the labor cost as a percentage of sales, which is 25%. In labor cost, the key performance indicators, the percentage of sales revenue that goes towards labor cost A high percentage may indicate overstaffing, and while the low percentage of indicates the understaffing. And the third is the employee turnover rate, which is 15%. In this, it measures the percentage of employees who leave the company within a certain period. A high turnover rate can indicate issues with employees' satisfaction or management. Regarding this, the nursery can consider the following recommendations: implement training and development programs, improve communication and teamwork, implement performance incentives. Next slide, please. So, to determine whether the nursery should hire additional staff, reduce staff, or keep staffing levels the same, the following factors should be considered. First is the sales forecast. In sales forecast, if sales are expected to increase, additional staff may be needed to meet the demand. On the other hand, if sales are expected to decrease, staffing levels may need to be reduced. So second is workload analysis. In workload analysis, it analyzing the workload of each staff member can help identifying areas where additional staff may be needed or where current staff may be overworked. And the third is the labor cost analysis. In labor cost analysis, analyzing labor cost as a percentage of sales can help determine whether staffing levels are appropriate or need to be adjusted. So based on the financial statements, the nursery had 10 permanent staff members and 5 seasonal workers. The total labor cost for the year ended December 31st, 2022 was $250,000. So recommendations for the same are: first is conduct a workload analysis. In this, analyze the workload of each staff member to determine whether they are overworked or whether there is room for additional tasks. Next is the review sales forecast. In review sales forecast, if sales are expected to increase, the nursery may need to hire additional staff to meet the demand. And consider outsourcing. In consider outsourcing, there is certain tasks such as accounting or marketing can be a cost-effective way to manage workload without adding to permanent staff. Last is the review labor cost. In review labor cost, analyze the labor cost as a percentage of sales to determine whether staffing levels are appropriate or need adjustment. So based on the staffing analysis, the nursery may benefit from hiring additional permanent staff to reduce the reliance on seasonal workers and to produce more stability to the workforce. Additionally, providing training and implementing performance metrics can help improve productivity and efficiency, while managing overtime and improving employee retention can help reduce labor cost and improve morale. So I would like to request Ripasvi to conclude the topic.
So I'm gonna conclude this presentation by saying that the nursery is working below the industry's average, and its break-even analysis shows that they are at a risk of incurring losses because they are working even below the break-even point. From the product mix analysis, it is stated that they should go for those products which which generate a high contribution margin, and lowers the sales of those which do not generate a much of the contribution margin or have a low sales volume. Finally, we can say that the report recommends conducting a staffing analysis in which it says that it needs to hire some additional staff in order to improve productivity and efficiency. Thank you so much.